Hey everyone, it's Christina D, and welcome back to Return to Writing, where I am basically a one-woman show running this channel, writing books, making theories, all that fun stuff. And today we are talking about urban legends because I want to talk about more story-related things. And as someone who is releasing a book this fall, no specific date yet, I haven't decided, and my book is focused on urban legends in the fictional town of Dark Pine. Let's talk about urban legends. I love urban legends. So many people I would assume, hopefully, love urban legends. Yes, I am leaning into the mic that is off camera. Hi, real podcaster here. Although, probably should, maybe not start a podcast. Who knows? I could turn more to the story into a podcast. Could be an idea. But what makes a good urban legend, and why have they lasted as long as they have? Well, let's dive into that. Urban legends are basically scary stories. Some have morals to them, some are just scary. Some are literally just meant to evoke curiosity, in a sense. But they are stories that are passed down from generation to generation, typically through word of mouth. So think like the scary stories to tell in the dark stories, or things like Bunnyman Bridge, Devil's Tower. One that the internet has very beautifully brought back as a meme on Reddit. Man door handhook car door, which is technically more of a combination of two different urban legends. But stories like that have lasted as long as they have because they're scary. They are meant to scare you. They are meant to also make you curious about whether or not they actually happened. And that is the main reason I want to talk about urban legends. Because even to this day, modern day urban legends are a thing. They're just more online. And what makes these last is the believability. Granted, yes, some of these are so out there you would think they aren't true, but they're still that that little speck of possible truth that grounds them in reality, which is why people keep coming back to them. Now, what would this sort of believability be in these stories? And why did I say that there are still urban legends in a sense today because of this believability? Because you get stories like half of the things you hear in compilation videos for the subreddit Let's Not Meet, or even just some of the supposed scary stories you see on TikTok. Things that are supposedly believable, but still are a little too far fetched, that you're kind of teetering on whether or not they are real. Like you have the red spot, the classic one, the spider bite on the face that starts off thinking, oh, it's just a really bad pimple, and it grows and grows, and then spiders start crawling out of it. Or even ones like the clown statue, which is sort of in tie with the babysitter in a sense, where it's just you get the story of someone going over to a trusted family's house and babysitting and being left alone on your own in someone else's house in a stranger's property who, even though you know them, you still don't really know their home, and end up being terrorized by something that shouldn't be there. These are stories that you can see yourself in the place of the people in them. You can see yourself being that babysitter stuck in that situation where the call is coming from inside the house, or even the red spot if you're it's like if you're very paranoid about that stuff, because spiders do come out of nowhere. It's like, heck, I've had one morning, half asleep, flip just flip over in bed, crawling up the wall, just like right over here. And it scared the absolute crap out of me. They can literally come out of nowhere and show up anywhere, which does bring some believability to that. It's that ability to be able to place yourself in these situations, which is why they last. It adds to that fear because you could see yourself in those situations. Now, can urban legends survive in the modern day as it is because you don't necessarily have the same type of method of passing it down? Because these are very much things that are passed down via word of mouth. They're passed down quite literally from generation to generation. But in a sense, they still are, just in a different format, in a different style, and also different stories. We have new editions. We have things that are mostly online. Most modern day urban legends are things on, say, YouTube, Reddit, creepypastas, things like that. They're the ritual games. They're the 3 a.m. challenges. They're the let's not meet stories, like the dancing smiling man. They're the Slender Man stories. That it's all of that. Those are the modern day equivalents because these stories are being told by many different people from different scary story channels to different people on subreddit to people on Twitter sharing some of these stories to wait, my bad, X. I forgot they're rebranding. It's not going well. I left that platform the moment I saw it going downhill. But you have people sharing it there, you have people sharing things on Tumblr and on various other platforms. Even on TikTok, you have these people sharing these stories so often that they become ingrained. And because they come from people claiming that they could be real or that there is some believability to how the story is told, they stick with us. It's like you don't know if there's any real truth to the story, but because there could be, because there's that uncertainty, those sort of become the new urban legends. Those become the new scary stories that are being told today. Those are the dark web stories. Those are, again, the subreddit stories from Let's Not Me, from creepypastas, from just people sharing videos on TikToks of creepy things that are supposedly real, like all those scary ghost videos, where it's just like, did you see it? And then it just like circles apart in the video. These are the modern day scary stories. So why are urban legends important? Why am I making this video? Well, I mean, aside from the fact that I am literally releasing a book later this year in the fall, as of recording this, based around urban legends and the curiosity that can come from things like local legends, things like the Jersey Devil, things like, as I said earlier, Devil's Tower, Clinton Road, all the stuff like that. I have my own book coming out this year based around that, sort of like a Twilight Zone vibe, focused around the fictional town of Darkpine. So yes, there is that aspect of why I'm making this, but it's also just I've always had a fascination with urban legends because they stick with us. Because it's not just that they can scare us, they make us think. They make us think, could this be real? They make us think, could this actually happen? And I think it's important to still have scary stories that don't necessarily just fully scare us, but make us curious. That sort of really pique the interest enough to make us look into these things or even share them or go seek out whether or not something like this could be true. It creates the theories, the conspiracies. It creates this sort of not as it's I'd say like a spark in our mind that really gets the creative gears going. It gets that imagination going, wondering how this could actually happen, how this could be real. And that is why I think urban legends are so important. Not only are they stories that are quite literally told over and over again that have lasted from generation to generation, and even through the essentially long game of telephone where you have different variations of the same story or combinations of the same story, they're still told today. And there are still stories that are almost sort of based on those and inspired by those. You see video games inspired by some of these things. And these things are told so often and turned into so many different forms of media. Because even movies, like how often have you seen people make even short films on YouTube about Bloody Mary or even things like The Ring? Things like that spark from this sort of urban legend base. This thing of, oh, you kind of have like the chainmail effect of the tape that curses you, or like, how was it? One missed call, which is basically similar premise but with a phone call. Like you have you have these somewhat believable premises and bases, and you just find ways to continue to share and create more stories out of it. And that is why urban legends are so fascinating, but so important. They keep going. They are the Energizer Bunny of storytelling, and that probably just dated me because I don't think Energizer still does commercials with the bunny, but if you know, you know. That is why I wanted to make this video, because urban legends are more than just stories. They are more than just scary stories. They're sort of scary food for thought. They make you think, they make you curious. And that's why I love them. And that's why they're important. So if you made it this far into the video, thank you. I very much appreciate that from you guys. I very much appreciate whatever likes and comments you leave, whether you subscribe. I'm not going to force you guys to hit any buttons or punch any icons or however the phrases tend to go. If you want to keep watching, keep watching. If you want to see more of my content, please stick around. I will very much appreciate it. I don't have a set schedule, so just keep an eye on things. But I have been using the community tab, so I will be updating there when I can. And if you want to support me as a creator, there are links down below to things like my shop, my Buy Me a Coffee, which is getting a revamp, and currently I'm working on a zine for it, which will be like my version of a newsletter, but a bit more visual, because I am more of a visual learner and a visual worker. So a zine made more sense to me. But I have things like that, because I am a small creator. I don't have a sponsor. So I am my own sponsor in a sense. So, yeah, check out the shop below where you can get cool things like this and this. I hopefully have pictures here. And I will see you guys in the next video, whatever that is. It might be a more to the story, probably a more to the story, because as much as I want to make that at Dead of Night video, FNAF keeps coming out with more things. So, yeah, I will see you in the next video, whatever that is.